I'm Oliver Süess, and you're listening to 5 Minutes of Silence, the podcast dedicated to exploring the silence of places, people, and everyday objects. We got a huge amount of snow over here in Zurich recently. From last Thursday to Friday morning, it snowed for about 24 hours straight, covering the whole city in 30 centimeters of gorgeous, fluffy white snow, and with it, bringing the city to a complete standstill. As I looked out of my window on Thursday night, I saw an empty tram on the road in front of our building. All the lights were out, the passengers and the driver had obviously left some time ago, and the snow just kept piling on. There's always something magical about snow. The way it instantly transforms any landscape into a cozy winter scenery. The peaceful feeling that you get when you see all those rooftops and trees covered by a thick snowy blanket. And then there's all that brightness and intense contrast wherever you look. Our usually miserable greyish-brown winter landscape gets replaced by this vibrant sparkling white, and everything that the snow can't touch disappears into an even darker shadow than before. Snow really is the best part about winter. Snow to me also emanates this profound sense of stillness and silence. When it snows, the world gets quiet. As traffic slows down, the streets start to empty, and all those motor noises and screeches of brakes and tires begin to fade away. People stay at home, huddle up under a blanket together, turn off the lights, and silently gaze outside their windows in wonder. Animals in forests seek shelter. The birds stop chirping, there's no more trees that are rustling, and whatever sounds that are still left in the world get absorbed by the snow itself. As I was walking to the local store on that day, it really felt like all that I could hear in the middle of the city was snow. That of course made me wonder, what does snow sound like? So on Friday night, after it finally stopped snowing, I put on my winter boots and warm ski gear and headed up onto the hill into the snow-covered forest. The trees around here are not used to bearing the weight of all this snow, and I found them leaning heavily over the footpath. Every now and again you could hear the sound of a branch breaking off and falling down in the distance. After some time I found a larger clearing in the middle of the forest where I knew I would be undisturbed. I set up my microphone and I hit record. So without much further ado, here's 5 minutes of silence of freshly fallen snow in the middle of a forest on a Friday night. Thank you for listening to 5 minutes of silence of freshly fallen snow. How did that snow sound to you? Was there anything special that you noticed? How would you compare this silence to the silence of the snow where you live? I also want to take this moment to thank everyone who has listened to my podcast and all the people who have been kind enough to send me their feedback and suggestions. After releasing the washing machine episode, Aurel Sieber, a poet and friend of mine, got in touch with me. He said the silence of my washing machine reminded him of a poem that he wrote a while back, and made the excellent suggestion that I could read it out on the podcast. The poem is called Appliances. Appliances. At night. Mutual phase locking, entrainment. I eavesdrop on the washer and dryer. They too go round in circles. The dishwasher's working on his opus magnum again. It requires many sighs. I've been browsing on the internet, yet no product fits my state of mind. Thoughts pouring from my shower's spray exit through the drain. I clocked my fridge's murmur cycles and found we are aligned. Thank you again, Aurel, for sending me your wonderful poem. Aligning your inner rhythm with the sounds of your machines is something I definitely identify with, especially when I'm making electronic music. I'm also very happy to announce that the washing machine episode has been nominated for this year's prize competition of Sonor, the Swiss podcast and audio festival. The festival is scheduled to take place at the end of February. However, with all the recent restrictions placed on cultural events, it's very likely that the festival will only be taking place online or through radio broadcasts. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for news on sonohr.ch. That concludes this special winter episode of 5 Minutes of Silence. If you liked what you heard or have suggestions and ideas for people, objects or places to feature on 5 Minutes of Silence, please reach out to me. You can find 5 Minutes of Silence on Instagram, YouTube or Facebook. All the links are in the episode's description. Until next time.